Good morning. I'm going to introduce myself with some dates. Tuesday, September 7th, 1999 was my first day in the classroom as a brand new graduate from SUNY New Paltz. It's almost 20 years ago. Monday, July 1st, 2013 was my first day as an instructional coach when I decided to step out of my comfort zone and pursue roles in working with teachers, and it has been more rewarding than I ever thought it could possibly be. Friday, June 1st, 2018 is a different date. The first two dates shaped me as an educator. This date reshaped me as a person. Friday, June 1st, 11:45 p.m., I'd just gotten home from seeing Aladdin on Broadway with my niece, and as I was getting into bed, I found a lump in my right breast. And after weeks of doctor's appointments and healthy doses of anxiety, I was diagnosed with a stage 1, grade 3, triple-negative breast cancer. Now, unfortunately, in this day and age, we talk a lot about cancer in stages, and what people don't realize is that cancers are also graded. Mine was a grade 3, which meant it was aggressively growing at an 80% proliferation rate, which simply meant it could have gone from the size of a pea to the size of a golf ball in a matter of weeks. And I'll tell you about triple-negative breast cancer. It means that triple-negative, it means that there were no hormone receptors in the tumor, not my tumor, because I'm never claiming it. There were no hormone receptors in the tumor, and what hormone receptors do is those are the receptors that causes the cancer cells to grow. Because I was triple-negative, it meant there were no receptors. Had there been receptors, I would have been a great candidate for hormone therapy, which is much less harsh than what I had to do. Triple-negative meant that I had to endure the harshest, most powerful chemo cocktail for 20 weeks. So rather than spend summer 2018 as I had planned, teaching my grad class in July, spending August with my new nephew, I spent week after week in a recliner at Columbia Presbyterian receiving chemo to kill the tumor. And what many people might think that those might have been my darkest days, I was given a gift. I was given the gift because I was forced to sit, couldn't move, attached to all these IV bags. I was forced to sit and think and reflect on what was I going to use to continue this journey, to win this battle against cancer. And in the last 373 days, that's how long it's been, I have realized that I've always had that power to fight cancer. Because in those moments of reflection, what I've always done in the classroom was going to be my weapon. So why am I telling you about my cancer journey when we are here talking about change in education? Change in education starts fundamentally with teachers. We are the cornerstone of education. We are the most important factor in how we can impact a child's education journey. So the power that I've always used in my classroom was the power I use to fight cancer and the power I choose to consciously think about and use every day now that I'm back at school. In that recliner, I learned about self-care. Self-care meant to slow down when I needed to take that nap from someone who never napped. And in that recliner, I thought about my first year teaching. My very first day that I was going to get to teach a lesson on my own was the day that as I was getting to the school campus that I got in a car accident, totaled my car. Ambulance came, fire department came, police department came, major embarrassment. Here I am, ready to teach my first lesson, and I'm being carted away in an ambulance, fighting, because they didn't understand that I had to teach a lesson. And next thing I knew, Miss Sue Fackler, this petite little woman, my cooperative teacher, comes running out of the school, jumped onto the ambulance, grabbed me by the shoulders, and said, listen, The first lesson you are ever going to learn from me, and the only, if you don't learn anything else, is that you must care for yourself. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of our students. So as a teacher who used to take pride in never having to go to the bathroom all day, or being able to inhale my lunch in 5 minutes whenever I remember to eat, I consciously chose to slow down when I went back to work in September. I breathed, I ate lunch, I took a lap around the school to refocus myself, I grabbed a colleague and I talked, and we took that break. And the moments after, you gain a clarity because you've taken a moment to take care of yourself. Because we need to be our best selves so we can give that to the students so that they, in turn, can become their best selves. In addition to self-care, I learned about kindness. Every person who found out that I had cancer, I carefully looked at their faces at that moment. And afterwards, I realized everybody was softer, gentler, and kinder to me. And as all this was going on, I really started to realize that this kindness was the epitome of the adage, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle, no matter how small or big. This is exactly how we need to approach our students, our parents, our colleagues, as if they are all fighting battles. So the lesson that was learned is to be softer, be gentler, be kinder. Be softer to that student who's the hardest to love because they're the ones that need it most. Because you never know what that student might have gone through the night before or even that morning before they walked into your class or your school. Be gentler to that parent who you think is not doing their parental duties. We need to give them the benefit of a doubt to know that they really are trying their best. Again, we don't know what battle they're fighting. And for that colleague that's aloof and cold whenever you walk by him or her in the hallways, be kinder. You don't know that that teacher might have been caring and stressing and worrying about that student, or their own families for that matter. So be kind. Be kind because we are all fighting battles, no matter how small or big. I learned that appearances don't matter. We really need to focus on what's important, and that's what we need to spend our time and energy on. This is me on my 5th birthday. See that long, luscious locks? Never cut my hair. Here I am getting my last chemo a month after my diagnosis and a week before I started chemotherapy. And this is me a month into chemotherapy when I made the conscious decision that I, not cancer, was going to be the one to say so long, not goodbye, so long to the long, luscious locks. I went full out G.I. Jane, and that allowed me, even though I didn't want to, look in the mirror every day, past my hair, past my makeup, past my outfit, and into who I am as a person. And I realized I needed to focus on myself. I no longer had to worry about making my hair perfect because the wig was perfect as it is. And speaking of perfection, I don't know about you, I am constantly amazed at the Instagram classrooms. You all know what I'm talking about. The ones that are perfectly done down to the last detail. The impeccable bulletin boards, the beautiful color palette that's woven in through everything in that classroom. And I started thinking, how do they have time to do all that and teach and focus on what's important? Because that's a secret I would like to know. But as for me, I realize that my students don't care that there's a matching color palette in their classroom. I know that they don't care how many dollar stores I had to go into to find matching book bins for them. That's not what they remember. I know because I've asked my former students this past week when our district had our senior walk. What they told me they remembered were the times that I had them come in a few at a time just to eat lunch, not because it was a reward, just because I had time and they wanted to eat with me, and we joked. They remembered when I stopped in the gym class to play with them when they were doing their volleyball unit. They remembered hanging out at recess when I would walk out, and they thought that I was looking for someone, but it was really there to play with them. That's what they remember. So how much can we gain in our classrooms if we don't focus on being perfect and focus instead on what really matters, our students? And finally, I learned about laughter. Laughter really is the best medicine. So earlier I told you I found this tumor. The first time I told my friend Claire, the first thing she said to me over text message was, name it. Name it and we will curse it every day. I thought about it and I named it. I named it Felicia. Because for me, for my friends, my family, every time someone said, bye, Felicia, it elicited a giggle. It elicited a small victory. It made me laugh. It made my friends and family laugh. And sometimes all we can do is laugh. So one of the most memorable moments in my classroom may or may not have been when I hightailed it across the room because a bug flew into my face during a read aloud. Or when students curiously looked at my colleagues and I in the hallway, bent over laughing from an inside joke. When was the last time you had a could hardly catch your breath moment laugh in the middle of the day? Because I assure you, in those moments right after you catch your breath, that tough student becomes easier to work with. The paperwork doesn't matter, and the day becomes more manageable. So, I encourage you, laugh. Take the vacation, gather your squad, and laugh. So now, when I think about change in education, I'm going to focus on teachers as educators because we are, like I said earlier, the cornerstone of what really is important. We are fundamental to the change and the impact that we have on our students. We need to be the best that we can be because any of those faces that walk through our halls or into our classrooms could be the next engineer that tackles climate change. It's going to be the next doctor or scientist who finds a cure to cancer. It's going to be the next elected official who is going to strive to maintain humanitarian rights for all of us, regardless of education level, immigration status, race, color, or creed. Our students really deserve the best of us because what we teach them today is what they are going to use to shape our future. So, remember, when things get hard in our profession, practice self-care, find kindness, be kind, focus on what's important, and laugh. Laugh whenever, with whomever, and as often as you can. And finally, I leave you with one last date. Wednesday, June 26, 2019. That means in 18 more wake-ups, we get to start our summer. And I don't know about you, but I'm determined to spend summer 2019 resting, relaxing, and recharging so that I can be the best I can be, the best educator I can be, the best coach I could be, the best person I could be to impact our most precious commodity. Thank you.